Hello, everyone. My name is John Obidi, and it's a pleasure to bring you this talk, this presentation called Skills of the New Economy. I want to say a quick thank you to the organizer of this event, Omilola Oshikoya. It is such a great honor and pleasure to bring my experience and knowledge to your audience. Thank you for the honor of gracing your platform. It is one that I do not take for granted at all. Today, I'm going to be teaching really quickly with the time I have been allotted, skills of the new economy, with a great focus on how to deploy ideas at the speed of thought. Skills of the new economy, how to deploy ideas at the speed of thought. And I'll tell you why I named it thus. It's because there's a lot of us out here, we have heard that ideas rule the world. However, by the time we conceptualize these ideas, a lot of people are limited when it comes to the technologies that are required to deploy these ideas into the global marketplace. So I'm going to be simplifying the process for you. Whether you have a business you want to put out there, or a personal brand you want to put out there, or an e-commerce business you want to put out there, I'm going to be giving you skills of the new economy, simple strategies that you can use to deploy your ideas really quickly without necessarily having to consult somebody else. Okay. All right. Now, before I go into these skills of the new economy, I'm first going to tell you a story or to give you an analogy real quick. Normally, I like to use a bottle of water for this demonstration. So I usually start this presentation by saying this, that by default, the output or the productivity or the quality of marketable ideas of an average first world native are primed generally to be 10 times better, more productive than that of a third world native. And by first world native, I mean, the United States, Canada, and other developed countries. And by third world, I mean Nigeria and similar developing nations like Nigeria. So their ideas are naturally primed to be 10 times more productive than ours. Now, why is that? Why is that? That is because of how we see the internet in the third world versus how they see the internet in the first world. And I'm going to explain that using this bottle of water. The average third world native sees the internet as a consumable resource. Like this water, it is something that can be exhausted, something that has a beginning and an end, and a very finite quantity. If I might even speak in our vernacular, we see it as something that can finish. And so in the third world, we know what we call 1 gig, 2 gig, 3 gig, and so on and so forth. In the first world, they're not limited by that scarcity. All they know is that the internet is working or that the Wi-Fi is on. So they don't have to be measuring 1 gig, 2 gig, 3 gig. It's only those people in the third world. And so because people in the third world are using internet mostly based on scarcity, it affects whether they are going to be more productive or whether they are going to be consuming more on the internet. It affects how we use the internet. It affects our internet culture. There's some people who are watching this right now, and I'm sure you're even watching, checking to see what your data balance is, whether you can even finish watching this particular conversation, right? And that's the concern. Someone in the first world does not have that constraint at all. So that's where it starts, all right? Now, how does the first world native see the internet? Now, while people in the third world see the internet as a consumable resource, something that is finite, something that is limited and perhaps even scarce, a person in the first world sees the internet as a highway, or as you say in Nigeria, as an express road. And on that express road, you can transport goods, services, and even people. Just like right now, I am being transported on this highway into all your homes and living rooms and bedrooms this very instant on this highway called the internet. And so when there are coming onto this technology called the internet, they are thinking of how to be transporters of goods, services, and people. So they are driving the trucks that are transporting the goods, services, and people. For example, the ISPs. Or if they don't want to be the ISPs, they might be wondering, right, what can we build on the left and on the right of this express route? So think about your regular express route that you might be plying. Maybe it's the Lagos Ibadan Expressway or anyone that is popular around where you live or around where you've been, right? On the left, they might say, okay, people might want to stop by and buy food. So let us build a restaurant. And so we have things like Jumia Food, Uber Eats, and so on, right? They might say, let us build a transport company so that if they want to have transportation into the town off the highway, they can find that. So they build a motor park, so to speak, and they call it what? Uber or Bolt or Lyft, and so on and so forth, right? They might say, let us build a movie theater so that people who stop by the roadside can maybe go watch a movie. And so they built a theater called Netflix, and other people who are also doing streaming for movies. As a matter of fact, right now, most of the big movie studios have created their own streaming platforms. You've got HBO in the business, I think, with HBO now. You've got Disney with your Disney Plus, and so on and so forth. Everyone's now getting into the game. And so they think, okay, people might want medical advice. So they build some sort of a hospital, like what? WebMD.com, right? And so on and so forth. So you can see that they are coming onto this internet with a production mindset. So they are producing and creating what people who are there are going to consume. So they are basically producing for people who just have a habit of consuming. And so we in the third world, it's not as if we don't have the creativity, but a lot of people have not been able to break past that limitation of internet connectivity, and we have to do so. All right. And how do we do that? We do that by investing in our own personal infrastructure on a collective scale. It might take a while before these issues are solved, but on an individual basis, if you are a creator, if you're someone who wants to find your place in the global scheme of things, if you want to be a co-contributor to the global economy, you have to invest in your infrastructure by investing in unlimited and high quality internet access. All right. So there are some ISPs in Nigeria, especially if you're in Lagos, who give you unlimited internet access. Do your research and try to get it. I promise you that the quality of your ideas will be 100 times better once you have scaled that issue of limited internet access. Let me buttress this point once more with a story of something that happened in 2018. In 2018, I wanted to really learn about blockchain and Bitcoin, right? I wanted to really learn what was this whole thing about. And so I researched online and I saw that Dubai had been positioning themselves for quite a while as the blockchain capital of the world. And so in 2018, they were going to hold something called the Future Blockchain Conference. And I thought, you know what? If I want to know anything about blockchain, why don't I just go right to the source? Why don't I go right to Dubai, attend this conference, and learn what I can? So I pre-registered for the event and I traveled to Dubai to attend that event, right? And so when I got there were all these exhibitors in the venue. So I saw this particular exhibitor, they were an art gallery. And so I wondered, what was an art gallery doing at a blockchain event? So I went over to their stand and I said, okay, guys, where's the art? And they said, oh, it's a virtual art gallery. If you want to see the art, put on this VR virtual reality headset and you'll see the whole art gallery open out in front of you, which I did. I put the headset on and wow, I could see all the art, right? Everything opened out before me. I could move forward, I could move backward, I could go to a painting, push a button, and a voice would tell me the history of that art, what it was worth, who created it, the mind behind that piece of art and other details about that. And I could move on to each painting or each sculpture or creation and see the history behind it. It was fantastic. And so I got really fascinated. I got really excited. And I said, you know what? Before I leave Dubai, I'm going to purchase a VR headset so that when I get back to Lagos, I can practice and explore and see what the world of VR had to offer. And so that I did. I purchased a VR headset, one that would go with my PlayStation. So this was the PlayStation VR. I got it, got to Lagos, watched a couple of YouTube videos on how to set it up, and I connected the whole thing and then go. I put it on, and then it began to load really slowly, like slow, slow, slow. And I was like, whoa, here we go again, right? It was so slow. I had to leave the house and go looking for which ISP in Lagos could power virtual reality, at least qualitatively, at least, not necessarily in a flamboyant manner, but at least qualitatively. I finally found one after a couple of days and trying out all the networks. But that's me. I'm dogged, I'm resilient because this is my passion. All right. But what about someone else that's just trying to try things out and they just give up? So you cannot afford to give up. You have to invest in your personal infrastructure. All right. Now, one more thing. While I was at that event in 2018, I met this guy who was a Bitcoin millionaire. And while we're having this conversation, he asked me where I was from. I told him I was from Nigeria. And he said, Nigeria, that's interesting. Africa is the future. And I said, I know what I mean. I know what we mean when we say Africa is the future, but what do you mean when you say that Africa is the future? And he said, well, because over in Europe, they're not having any more babies. And I stood back to think about that. Whoa, what what is he trying to tell me or trying not to tell me? You know what that means? What he's saying is that in Europe, the population is not growing. So if they are manufacturing or if they are creating, who are they going to be creating for? However, in Africa, population is exploding. We are growing in size. And so when they say Africa rising, what they actually mean is that this consuming population is rising because for each child that is born, they're going to need books, they're going to need shoes, they're going to need baby food, they're going to need clothes, and most of these things we do not produce, but they produce, and they are all finding a market here. And so we have to flip it, okay? Instead of the narrative of Africa rising being the consuming market of Africa is rising, we have to flip it and become producers and not just consumers alone. Now, nothing empowers us on an individual and independent scale as much as the internet. And in order to do this, you need to acquire these skills of the new economy so you can be able to deploy your ideas at the speed of thought. All right. Now, that said, I've given you the background. Let me go right into it. What are these skills of the new economy? Number one, website design. Now, gone are the days when we would say that website design was the exclusive preserve of web designers. Now, I used to be a website designer, so I know I've been there, done that, okay? But back in 2010, I could tell you that it was hard. In 2020, not so much. There are tools that make anyone, that can transform anyone into a web designer. One of them is called Wix, Wix.com, Wix.com. With Wix.com, anyone can create a fantastic website in less than an hour, which is quite generous. If you're serious, maybe 30 minutes. So with Wix.com, you can create your website yourself, not kidding. They've got their templates, just choose one, edit the text, and it becomes yours. So you don't have to go back and forth with a website designer, or you don't have to release that expenditure if you don't have a budget yet for it, okay? Your idea can go out really quickly. Now, the great thing about Wix is that you don't need to be an expert, you don't need to code, you can just drag and drop, and in no time you have a website. But another thing about it is you can actually go to Wix.com right now and start practicing because there is a free plan, okay? Well, I don't suggest that you deploy your website with a free plan, but I suggest that you use the free plan to practice, test, and see if you can create a fantastic website with it. When you like what you see, you can then pay for the paid plan, all right? So that is website design. Now, there are some of the people watching that may not want to deploy a full website. Maybe you're a personal brand, or maybe you're an employee, and you just want a simple website that chronicles your achievements and your portfolio and your resume in a way that presents you as a professional. And that said, you can simply go for a professional profile. And the website that does that really well is called about.me. So there they have free plans and paid plans. So check out the free plan. It'll be about.me/your name. And you can put out all your achievements, chronicle them so that when people Google you, it's one of the pages that will come up in search engine results. All right. And one thing I've realized with a lot of Nigerians, and I think Africans too, is that we can sometimes get a bit too humble about our achievements. And so we tend to see it as boasting. And so we don't put it out there. This is essential. It's a resume you're putting together. So create your About Me profile so that people all over the world can see you when they need you for a particular solution. All right. The website for that one is called about.me. Now, next up, you've got to learn how to do e-commerce. Now, I'm not going to go into the business of e-commerce, but I'll talk about tools that you can use to set up your own e-commerce store just like that, really quickly. All right. There are a number of tools, but there is this tool that anybody can use, and you don't need to be an expert or a coder. It is called Shopify. Now, Shopify has built online stores that you can just deploy yours, put your name and your logo, and you are in business from today. Now, the beautiful thing about Shopify is that it also integrates with our local payment gateways like Paystack and Flutterwave. But please ensure that you're using the Shopify Nigeria version and not the US version if you're in Nigeria, not in the US, because the US version integrates with the US based or US approved payment gateways like PayPal and Stripe and so on and so forth. But the Nigerian Shopify integrates with our local payment gateways like Paystack and Flutterwave. All right. So make that distinction. Also, I think they still have a promo going on now where you can use it for free for I think 30 to 45 days. Find that out and give Shopify a try. Alternatively, there's also the Visa SME Hub. The Visa SME Hub gives you a free e-com store if you're in the business of e-commerce, and it also pre-integrates with Paystack and Flutterwave. So if you want to check that out, head on over to visa.com.ng and sign up for the Visa SME Hub. You'll also get that there. All right. Now, another thing you also have to master is international payments. That's one way to create a balance of power. Find a way, even while in Nigeria, to be able to receive money for things that you sell online to the diaspora or to foreign markets. All right. And that might not be as easy, but it's doable. Paystack and Flutterwave both are now able to receive international payments in US dollars. I'm not sure if they do it in other currencies, but I know that they are able to process payments in US dollars. All right. Now, if you also would like to get maybe a PayPal account or a Stripe account, which is for the US, just keep watching, because I'll talk about that in the next skill of the new economy, which is incorporating your business entity abroad. Now, when you incorporate your business entity abroad, say in the United States, it opens you to more opportunities that are only open to those who have businesses in the United States. Yes, it also means that you will have to pay tax, but it opens you to much more opportunities because you are a US business. It opens you to investment opportunities. And when the big money investors from the United States or other countries want to invest in your business, it's a better look and you look more accountable or secure if you are also registered in the United States. Another country that you can register a business to that looks really good for Nigerian entrepreneurs is the United Arab Emirates, but I'm not going to go too deeply into that. If you want to incorporate your business entity abroad and also be able to receive international payments through that, there is a program called Stripe Atlas. Okay, Stripe is the payment gateway, and they have a program called Stripe Atlas where for $500 only, they can register your business in the United States, provide you a business address, provide you a US bank account, and those details can be used to open a PayPal account or a Stripe account. So that does it for you. Another skill of the new economy is advertising. Advertising is very important and is not for the digital marketers. Everyone should be able to do this, okay? If all you can learn at least is how to create Facebook ads to drive your business objectives, to get customers to see what you have, or to drive a message, or to drive a narrative, or to sell an idea, or to sell your physical products or anything, if you can learn to use Facebook to do that, then you are going to be king, okay? Now, when I say Facebook, I'm going to be referring to both Facebook and Instagram at the same time, because by advertising to Facebook, the same tool also lets you advertise to those on Instagram, and you can share audiences on both platforms, all right? Now, if you want to learn how to create Facebook ads and Instagram ads, there's a course created by Facebook to help users create better Facebook ads. It's called Facebook Blueprint. Okay, so just go Google Facebook Blueprint. It is totally free to access. I think there's a token fee required for the certification, but the knowledge is totally free. So you can start learning how to create your Facebook ads today. Just go and search for Facebook Blueprint. Okay. Now, the next one is the knowledge economy. You need to be able to sell your knowledge. There is something you know or are able to learn that someone somewhere is willing to pay you money for. Okay. So get into the knowledge business. Now, there are multiple ways to do it. You can go to a platform like Udemy, see what is in demand there, and if what has been selling there is in line with something you want to teach, then go ahead and you can make money from there. Another thing you can do is to create your own online school that people can sign up on, take their courses, and pay you right here or wherever you are. Okay. So to create your own online school, the platform I like and have recommended for a while is called Teachable. Okay. With that, you don't need a website designer or a coder. You can go to teachable.com, create your not free, they have a free version, but you want to get the best of it, I recommend premium, and create your online school today. All right. Now we talk about an online school, but how do you even create the course in the first place? There are many ways to do this, but I will just give you a tool that is free and everybody can use right now. It is called Zoom. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you guys, I am using Zoom right now to record this presentation. There's no need for any fancy software. Just open Zoom, start your singular meeting. It's just you talking to the camera, hit record, and records the whole thing. All right. So you're beginner level, you don't want to spend a lot of money, you can use Zoom. You can share your screen, you can talk straight to the camera, however you want it. Okay. So these are a few skills of the new economy, and they are going to help you to deploy your skills to the marketplace at the speed of thought. In case you missed out any of these points, I would implore you to get the recordings, watch this over and over again. I wish there was a Q&A so I could take some questions, but I believe that you have gotten the gist of this conversation. It is my firm belief that we are the light of the world and we are the salt of the earth. And one thing that will really help our light so shine in 2020 and beyond is being able to master the technologies of the age. So even though I've given you a list of skills, I want to encourage you to keep on learning, keep on growing, and the earth is ours for the taking. Thank you for listening. Thank you to Omilola Oshikoya again for inviting me on here. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.